Welcome to Rauta and 85 reviews. It means 5 rather small label releases, but most of all rather old releases, except for one which I got this week, and that is here for a reason which I will explain in a bit. So 5 releases with quick glimpses to these interesting ones of various styles. Let's get going, not in order to make this video too long. The only newer one is this band called Angra Ahriman from Finland with the Sealed with Blood EP. Now, technically speaking, this could be a CDR because, well, it is CDR, and the reason is this is actually a digital only release, and I guess because some people know that I don't really do digital reviews, they send me handmade copies, so this is a CDR copy with cardboard printing, nothing inside. So inside you will find nothing, and here is all that matters in terms of being this release. Digital releases don't really come with lyrics that often, so you have all the recording information plus track list and obviously the cover. Now this is a peculiar case because I haven't really heard about this band since 2011 or so, and back in the days that was a split release. Now this one is a EP with various styles, but still being black metal. Some points it's more fast tempo, it's more melodic and aggressive. Things like Dark Funeral come to my mind, but it's also with more mid-tempo, even slow tempo parts, with more melancholic parts, which in my opinion are the best ones on this album. Then there are also lots of keyboards, which then again remind me of things like Dimmu Borgir, maybe a little bit of Emperor too, but very much nodding to 1990s black metal, second wave that is. Now, given that this is a digital self-financed release, it's actually quite surprisingly good. That is, this could be very well something that was throughoutly released by a proper label. In my opinion, the music quality is rather good. It's pretty decent overall, like somewhat enjoyable. Not the total gold medal standard, but definitely going in the better direction. The previous one, the split that is, was pretty okay. This is a step forward. Interesting band in my opinion, something that you should probably pay attention to. It's two-man band coming from Finland and releasing every 5 years or so, so it's not the most active ones, but something that you might want to keep your eyes peeled for. Then we go to United States with a tape release. This already was delivered here some 2 years ago, well, almost, but it's been in the backlog for quite some time because it wasn't a new one even when it came here. So it's a two-man band called Grok from Colorado, United States of America, and this one is also released untold as a CD version. For some reason I got the tape version. I don't know exactly why, because my tape player is busted, but at least makes a quite interesting package if you want to take a look at the bright side of things here. So you have 2 tapes here, more than 2 hours of music. That goes both for the CD version and tape version, obviously. So the reason for such a length, it isn't because, you know, the band just wants to make everything so lengthy and all, but because this is actually a compilation, you know, made of all the material the band has put out until this far. So this is 2018 release, as far as I could tell. But these, you know, songs, these recordings here, which are put into 4 different sites, obviously, are from 2014 and so forth. So there are lots of tracks, you know, more than 2 hours in total. Roughly, each one takes an hour or so. The style here is rather interesting because this is not purely just black metal release, but it's combination of Dungeon synth and black metal. Black metal from the raw end, mind you, that applies both to production as well as the songwriting. It's so quite simple riffs, homemade recording kind of a production, and not exactly original, but there is something very primitive with this kind of stuff, so you don't really mind that the sounds kind of a crappy. I mean, it doesn't really sound like super shitty or anything like that, but it's not very clean or powerful sounding. But be it as it may, I like, you know, what the band is doing with their black metal songs. It's like taking back to the 1990s. So kind of retro, but still not exactly something that you could say, hey, this is 1994 Norway. Something that kind of gives you the promise of better things to come. but not the most catchy, not the most memorable ones. Just the magic is here with the atmosphere. Now when it comes to the instrumental songs, which are mostly keyboard made and all that stuff, you know, then it cuts me kind of a turn off. First of all, there is just too much material with that given style, and there is not enough variety. I mean, it's totally like fitting for a background music when you're doing something else. But if you want something music, you know, that kind of energize you or drive you to a certain feeling, you know, being driven by the music. That's, I guess, what I'm trying to say here. That doesn't really do the trick. So I'm kind of divided. On the other hand, the black metal material, which is, you know, fitting the not the biggest part of this release, you know, it's kind of like 1/3 or so. That is the good stuff. But not so much with the, you know, dungeon synth kind of stuff. If you're into both styles, this would make sense. I mean, if you like more of these as well as 1990s black metal, then you have all clicking right here. I don't know, if you like tapes, this is a really, really cool version, but I would personally go for CDs, but obviously format is what it is, and everybody has their personal favorites. Then we go to all the way to Australia, down under, with Lucifers Fall and Tales from the Crypt. This is nice looking digipack, but unfortunately inside, well, very, very simple. All you have there is this stamp size photos of the band and the recording information, which is, I guess, even more readable on the big screen rather than me trying to read the track list and all, you know, here like, hey, I can't do it. You know, we call it old age and all that stuff. So that it is. So Lucifers Fall is a kind of a cult band that does its old school of heavy metal and doom. So obviously what you expect is kind of a mid-tempo and slow tempo, kind of a sludgy approach, and with a kind of a homemade sound. Now this is a compilation. It has live tracks, it has cover songs, and some material from 7-inch and the like. So this is not exactly to lure in new fans. It's like, hey, there's a new Lucifers Fall album out, but more like, hey, I missed those 7-inch and those live recordings back in the day, so how I'm going to get them? Well, this is a compilation. This kind of expects you already to be a fan. First of all, you know, the songs are not that great. Secondly, the production is quite weak and lame, especially with the live tracks. Everything sounds like really homemade stuff. It's not like powerful boom, this is the next Candlemass. No, it's not. It's not the next Black Sabbath. This is, in my opinion, the lesser grade doom heavy metal combo. So definitely for fans only. If you already like the band, this is the stuff you want to have because you probably missed the original ones. Then again, if you have already the original ones, the 7-inch and the like, you don't really need this. So this is just filling the gaps, filling your collection and all, nothing so much like, hey, great new album. What is proper album from Latin America is a band called The Cryptic. This is Darkness Purging the Light. Now originally this was, as far as I know, a demo, which is then again later on filled with a bonus track or bonus material, and this is melodic black metal. This could be very, very, very much like a Latin American version of Emperor style, you know, before Emperor turned into very progressive and all that stuff, you know, kind of a symphonic, keyboard driven black metal with melodies. Not exactly the best out there, but still definitely worth listening to. These guys know what they're doing. The production is very solid, screamy vocals, everything's right there. The only downside, only bad side with this one is there is nothing original as such. One could even say that this band with this album or EP, whatever it's officially called, is kind of like a copycat attempt to do that 1990s, that earlier mid-1990s Norwegian symphonic black metal feeling. So while this is totally doing it quite nicely, nothing is like, wow. Then again, I'm not a big fan of late Emperor stuff. I would even say the Cryptic is doing that stuff better than Emperor was doing it after the second album, Anthems. Not exactly in the Nightside Eclipse category, definitely not, but still worth listening to. Something that is quite nice all in all, if you like keyboard-driven black metal. Last and not exactly least, but among those, I had to think about it for a while in case you wonder why I paused. This one is Ygfan from Hungary, and this is kind of a curious case because it's not exactly post-metal, it's not exactly post-black, but it's definitely around those styles. The thing here is, this band is so hard trying to do this meaningful, beautiful, atmospheric metal that it almost forgets to how to do interesting songs. Now, basically, you know, on the surface, everything is right there. There's nothing wrong with production, vocals, or whatever. Even the packaging looks pretty nice and all. And you kind of hope that something would, you know, storm, you know, something would happen and wow, those great, majestic songs would take you on a flight. But what do you in essence have after a couple of songs? You are dead bored. Or at least I was. It's not like the band is doing shitty, you know, in terms of creating music, but it's quite boring, to be honest. Now the thing here is, throughout the album I felt like, okay, this is getting boring, nothing really happens. Like, can't they do any riffs which are exactly memorable or catchy or just like gorgeous? Everything is like, you know, filling the gaps. Like, this is as if you're like going to a gig. Then you see the warm-up band and it's pretty good. Then you go for beer and you're expecting the headliner to come on stage. And the music that happens between these two, the warm-up band and the main band, well, Ygfan is exactly that. Something the DJ puts there, but not gonna do anything really, really cool because he doesn't want to ruin the mood for the, you know, headliner. Also, he doesn't want to step on the band that just, you know, warmed up the stage. So he decides to go for something that isn't exactly memorable, catchy, anything like mind-blowing. And this is where Ygfan starts to look like, hey, we're gonna do that. We're kind of a post-metallic, kind of a blackish, so we're gonna just feel that spot right there. We're not gonna stick in your brain. We're not gonna be something that people are like, yeah, what was the band like which played just before the cover? No, I don't mean the warm-up band, but before the main headlining act, what was the band? This is not the band. This is more like, okay, something is playing. At least it doesn't interrupt while we're having our beers and, you know, talking with our friends. I'm sorry to say this, because I guess Ygfan is the kind of stuff that could really speak to me. I mean, I really love some really atmospheric black metal. I also do like certain kind of post-metal ones, like, you know, Russian Circles. But Ygfan doesn't, you know, fill neither of these places. It's more like just falling between, so it doesn't really speak to me. I'm sorry to say, but this album lacks interesting parts. It's just filling the gaps there. That's being said now. So all in all, if I had to pick just one of these 5 different kind of albums, can I really even compare to Doom, to black metal, to post metal, all that stuff? Kinda not. So if I had to pick just one where you would start with, I would say go with the Angra Ahriman, even though it's just a CD or digital, whatever, self-financed tape, or the Cryptic one, because at least it's something that feels kind of safe and relatable, even if it's not original. But then again, if you want something original, Lucifers Fall or Ygfan or Grok will do it. So it depends in which kind of mood you are, what is your favorite cup of tea, so to speak, when it comes to genres, and you'll have it. You will find links below in the description box. Clickety-click, go listen some, go buy some if you feel they're right up your alley. And if you always end up liking some band, remember to recommend these albums to your friends, because what would be a better way to cheer up a friend who needs more good music? Just do it and put your money where your mouth is. Like it and buy it. Thanks for seeing this review. Bye bye. Next time.